Sorry, my Zoom was doing that weird thing where I couldn't come off mute, so I had to exit out again and then go to my settings and allow the
Uh-oh.
yeah, but I'm good now.
Good.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
All right. I'm rebooting my laptop, so I'm going to switch again.
Okay.
I'm on my iPad now. I was asking if we had a quorum, but we might have one by now.
Oh, yes, you definitely do. Yep.
Okay, very. Did we ever establish what a quorum was?
Isn't it seven?
Seven. Okay, very good. All right. Give me just a second here. All right, it is. We are calling the meeting to order at 6:32 p.m. We ask that everyone please mute your microphone unless you are speaking. Any guests in attendance should introduce themselves in the chat, listing their organizational affiliation, and providing their contact information to ensure, excuse me, to ensure that we have adequate time to hear from all commissioners. Guests are asked not to speak in the ACP meetings, apart from the invited speakers. But you're welcome to add your thoughts and comments to into the live chat. At this time, we want to ask for an approval of the draft minutes from November. Has everyone had a chance to read and approve? And if so, can we approve them by common consent? If not, please share your unreadiness. Do I have a so moved? Okay, Francisco gives a thumbs up, so I'm going to take that as a so moved.
I'll second.
All right, very good. So we'll adopt it by common consent. We want to give a recap of our December 1st meeting, our public safety hearing with Councilman Katz, Councilpersons Katz, Lutke, and Mink. I, along with our co-chairs, even Francisco, went to represent the group and share the work that we have been doing for the last year, much of which they were well aware. And we were also able to address some concerns and discuss some of the pressing issues as we move forward. We were also glad to have John Stevenson with us there as well. And so, Eva and Francisco, since you were present at the meeting, and while I switched devices, is there anything that you would like to add to our time with the public safety hearing?
Well, I thought that the meeting was a success. We we got kudos from the members, the council members. They thought that the commission was doing terrific work, and in fact, they thought that it was exemplary for the other commissions. I also thought that it was very interesting that they were very focused on the same issues that we are, and I thought that was also very helpful. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was very productive as well. It was nice to hear their feedback, of course. It was good to have a little bit of a conversation with Councilmember Lubke about some of the data visualization issues that we've been talking about, and I have notes that I can give on my research on that later in the meeting. I think there's a spot on the agenda for that. But yes, I think it was a great meeting. I appreciated the council members' openness to some of our suggestions in terms of making participation in the ACP easier, in terms of improving community trust and reliability. And I hope that we'll have even more work to be able to present when we go next year or whenever that may be.
All right, very good. Thank you. Susan, were there any follow-up items that we needed to bring to the group? And before that, I see Christy's hand.
Okay.
I just wanted to give props to the whole commission, especially given that, just a few years ago at this time, we were having conversations with some of the same council members who had some pretty significant concerns with the commission. And I think that, it's great that in the last couple of years we've kind of turned that around and had such positive interaction and engagement.
Thank you for that perspective, Christy. That's great. Thank you. All right, Susan.
Sure, there were a couple of follow-up ones, and Eva had mentioned that she had had a fairly lengthy conversation with Councilmember Lutke afterwards on state located data dashboards, I believe. Logan and I are going to do a little bit of additional research on the radio encryption and what other jurisdictions here in Maryland and Washington, D.C. are doing, just to report back. And then one of the things that the committee brought up was when people were applying and interviewing for the Advisory Commission on Policing, they may not have been completely aware of all of the really germane issues around policing. And they asked if we could compile some better information that was more readily accessible to people, put on your website. And Logan and I are happy to do that, pulled not just from what the ACP has done, but also what the council has been interested in over the past several years, and just try to clean up your website and have that type of resource available. And obviously, if that's something that anybody on the commission wants to lead or contribute to, you're more than welcome. I don't think there's really a deadline on it. I can just say that I at least am moving into a slow season until the capital budget starts up in mid-January. So I'm happy to help with additional projects that you might have. So.
All right, thank you so much, Susan. John, since you took the time out to be there with the group, do you have any thoughts that you want to share from the meeting?
Oh, good evening, everyone. I thought it was you all did a wonderful job. It was just so excellent the way it was presented. I did take interest in the fact that Francisco brought up the things and what Susan is alluding to, all that's involved. I think as we're growing, there'll be more things that are involved as far as TASC and maybe other subcommittees that are created, and anyone that joins that they could be aware of kind of what's happening and what we're doing. So I thought it was just great, Brian. Everybody did a wonderful job. I was very proud to be a part of this commission.
Right. Well, listen, I especially want to thank our co-chairs. Francisco is the wind beneath my wings, and Eva is the lighthouse on the shore. So thank you so much, both of you, for your efforts. All right, so I think we can go into our subcommittee reports, starting with data subcommittee. Is Sunny on? If not, I know
I can brief for the data subcommittee if
perfect. Thank you.
So we met last week and to review and the compendium of databases, and we came up with 24 databases that we want to explore initially. And came up with a set of questions. And so what we would like to do now, and you've all, I emailed everyone both the questions and the list of databases. And what we would like to do now is meet with MCPD and begin that discussion on the databases and how they, what's in the databases and what are they used for. How they interface with other databases and software, and how what are the major issues that IT issues that MCPD is having. So what I propose is that I'll come up with a note or a letter and work with Susan to set up a meeting in January, hopefully. With MCPD, so we can start, following up on and getting some our hands dirty, or so to speak, really get some good work done on the databases.
I'm sorry, Francisco. Susan put in the chat she can share a screen.
Yeah,
Would you like to
that would be
share?
great. If
Okay, hold on just a second. Can you see that?
yeah, perfect. So as you can see, there's the list of databases. What we got was a printout, and this is some of the information on the printout.
I'm sorry,
And-
Susan. Can you make it a little bigger for the vision challenge? I'm looking through the bottom of my bifocals to try to.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Let me see what I can do.
If not, we know it's accessible. It's fine. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just me.
Let me do the view.
Can I ask a quick question while she does that?
Sure.
Are these are all MCPD databases, or are they
Yes.
just databases that they?
These are
Great.
MCPD databases. We only ask
Okay.
for their own databases.
Okay, thanks.
And so as you can see, with some of these databases, it's like we hope, or we're trying to figure out what is contained in the databases. We thought that we'd narrow our to begin with, start with a reduced number of databases, and then we may end up going back and asking questions about other databases as we learn more. Susan, if you could just scroll back down a little bit, so for the questions, thank you. So, I mean, unless if anybody has any comments or suggestions, otherwise, what we'll do is just go ahead and forward it to the MCPD, ask for a meeting with Assistant Chief Augustine, or more likely one of his representatives, and there's an IT specialist that actually manages all of these databases, and that would be ideal to meet with them as well, and begin that conversation. Any questions, comments, suggestions?
Yeah, I do have one suggestion. Maybe one of the questions we could ask them, I know we asked them, what type of information does this database contain? Maybe we could be a little more specific and ask them whether or not they're able to provide us like a data dictionary for these, as well as any like connection points between these databases and other databases, even if they're not owned by them.
Yeah, these, okay, I see. No, I'm not sure what a data dictionary is.
It's basically a list of all the data elements that are in a database.
Oh, okay, all right.
So it's like a more specific way of asking, instead of, because if we just say what kind of information does it contain, they might be like, well, it contains information about crimes or something, whatever.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and we expect that this is going to be an iterative process. So we will ask a number of questions. We will have a meeting, and then we'll probably come back with more questions, more detailed questions. But this is a very good suggestion. Thank you, Christy. And I'll add that to the questions. Our plan is to provide these ahead of time to MCPD so that they can be prepared for the meeting. We'd like to. This is going to be like an open. We don't want to, ambush anyone with questions that they didn't expect.
All right. Thank you, Francisco. Right. Do you want to say a word about meeting with academic experts?
Right. And on that part, after our meeting, we found out, we got an update from Christy on the meeting. And as you recall, what we had talked about at our last meeting was that we would invite the academics to meet with the entire ACP. Since then, and Christy, please correct me if I'm wrong, what we found out is that at least one of the academics can only meet during regular working hours, which would make it difficult for the entire quorum, for the entire ACP to meet. I presume some people, we're all volunteers, and some of us are working, and may not be available to do so. But Christy, do you have anything?
Yeah, so I had asked them if the MSU, the Michigan State Researchers, I asked them to come to this meeting. One of them was unavailable. The other one said that he really can only meet during business hours. So I told him that I would come back with some time. So maybe with that, I can send a separate email to the data committee, if that's okay with you, or we can send one amongst the data committee to see when the data committee might be able to meet to propose some times. And then I'm also just kind of searching the web for other citations or researchers that might be helpful to reach out to. And then we need to follow up with the point of contact that Henry had provided.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the overall status. And hopefully we can have a time to meet relatively soon so that we can get a competition report back.
And what we can do is, once we have a date and time, we can share that information with the rest of the with everyone in the ACP. So if other people are able to join, that would be also ideal.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So that's where we are, and I think that's a very good approach, Christy. Certainly, and I can take a look at my calendar and work with you, and I think the rest of the committee can do the same, and then set up a meeting, hopefully. As soon as it's feasible.
Say, Francisco?
Right. Yes, sir.
I had just contacted Dr. Brownstein from John Jay, and with that one communication. If you like, I'll try to contact him again and ask him if he would want to be part of the participation. But I'm going to request that if he does do it, that it would be during our normal hours that we normally meet, so we don't have to, or unless it's going to be one of the sessions of the data committee and that would report back to it. When I spoke with him, he was talking about he spoke about the bias, implicit bias, and he mentioned the technologies that police departments are using for that type of thing, which encompasses a lot of video cameras and plate readers that issue summonses, rather, to reduce the interaction of law enforcement officers with people and them getting in disputes out in the street. But he's done extensive work on that, and I provided our committee with his CV, which had he's an author of Implicit Bias of over 40 references. So even though it's not specific to policing, police are human beings, it encompasses our society in general, different types of biases that people will come in contact with. So if you like, I will ask him again, I'll coordinate it with the data committee and Christy to find out, so that perhaps it might be good to have both them, the academics and Dr. Brownstein, on at the same time, so that we can get feed off of both of them and find out, learn more about this.
That sounds good to me, and I see a note, a comment from Christy that she's also it sounds she's approving, and so why don't we do that, and we can dual track this and coordinate and have that meeting initially for the data committee, and then we'll take it from there. But I think that sounds like a good idea. Any other comments or questions on this issue? Okay, it sounds like we have a plan then.
Very good. Thank you, Data Committee and commenters. We're moving on to the Compliance Subcommittee. Eva? You're muted.
Sure. There we go. Not a ton on our end. We are hoping to meet at some point coming up, but we did compile our finalized thoughts on the MPAA, which Francisco mostly authored and we provided input on. I don't know, Francisco, if you want to provide more on that. I know you've been talking.
Thank you. Actually, it was the work of all of us, and so we have this initial draft that what we would like to do now is share it with both MCPD and the Police Accountability Board, and ask them for comments and either written comments or in person, so that we can make this a collaborative effort. We decide, we want to make sure that we have input from them in case there are some things that we may have either gotten wrong or that they may be able to explain, or that it might be nice also to hear that they agree with our findings and they're taking action on them. But anyway, we'll take it from there. And you have access to the draft because it was Susan shared it with everyone in the email with the agenda. I thought, I think it's a very good initial draft. It does not have conclusions yet. I think we want to wait until we hear from MCPD and PAB, and then we can finalize it and send it to the county council. Any comments, questions, or suggestions on the draft? So then what we'll do is I'll work with Susan to get this both to the MCPD, the right person at MCPD and at PAB, and so we can hopefully meet or get some get their written feedback by the first half of January. That would be ideal.
All right, sounds good. Anything else for the Compliance Subcommittee? If not, we'll go on to the School Safety Subcommittee. Terry?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Sunny and I had a really difficult time meeting. We have not been able to hook up to talk about the basically very similar type of thought. I love what you have with the whole data committee is, to look at what's out there in the databases and the school to say what is safe, to see what the standard definition is for what is safe in a school, as well as a report on evidence-based information, as well as I had surgery about 2 weeks ago. So I'm hoping then I'm going to be down for a while, so I'm going to actually be able to do some research and look into it myself and see. Can't do a whole lot, so I have some time and take a look and see what the database, and hopefully I can connect with Sunny as well as the other members of the school committee.
Thanks, Terry. We hope you have a swift recovery. I see Cherie.
Sorry, I was trying to get my stuff off mute. I had a question for the for the school safety issue. So I read that suspensions are up substantially in the school system, and I'm wondering whether the things that you all plan on looking at encompasses the suspension rate, the current guidelines, whatever. It just seems like this seems to be, well, as you know, there was a change in policy regarding suspensions. I believe it covered both in school and out of school suspensions. So I'm just wondering whether the whole suspension issue will feed into your school safety review.
Sure, I think that's really relevant and appropriate, especially with the policy change. I would say yes. Eva had pointed out that the policy was changing, and we wanted to look at that. You have any comment with that, Eva? Because I know you brought that up earlier when we met.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the new code of conduct, but I know that suspensions have gone up very drastically, both in school and out of school, and that there have been disproportionate impacts of that on both, students from marginalized communities and also students in elementary school. And so we really need to take a look and see how that relates also to police presence in the schools, since that's more the scope of what we're doing here.
All right. So Terry, I'm on that committee, and I'm very interested in following up on this. So I'll reach out to you between now and the next meeting. If no one else can meet, if you're down, I'll make some time and we'll get to work. Okay. All right. At this point, we're going to move to old business. Regarding our website and public comment language, we have confirmed that the new language approved by the ACP at our previous meeting has been incorporated into the website and email auto responses. So we can cross that off of our to-do list. Any comments on that before we move on? Okay, great. Susan, do you have an update to provide us concerning the letter to the state's attorney?
So the most I can tell you is that I've been in touch with them at least twice, I believe once before Thanksgiving and then once last week, and they are looking at it and it's assigned to somebody specifically, but I haven't received a response yet. I mean, I would obviously get that out to all of you. I will check in again, probably not tomorrow, but maybe on Wednesday, just to see what the status is.
All right, thanks a lot. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention briefly that, and I think that was after, I'm not sure it was during the formal meeting with the PSC or after the meeting with the PSC, but a council member, Mink, mentioned that she had heard the state attorney make similar comments and had wondered about them as well and had taken some form of action. But thank you very much, Susan, for following up on this and being so persistent. I don't know what's the reason for those comments, but it would be great to clarify them so that we're all talking on with the same information. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else on that matter? All right. So let's talk about our letter to the council regarding the public forum. Thank you, Christy, for the draft which Susan included in the agenda email. We've all had a chance to look at it, or have you had a chance to look at it? Because we do need to take an action tonight to move it forward. Has everyone had a chance to look at it? Do we need to do a swift look-see on the screen, or where are we?
I can share that too if you like.
Will you share it, please?
Sure.
I think that'd be great.
And so, Christy, if you wouldn't mind swiftly walking us through it, that would be great.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, Christy. The same eye, Susan. Can you make it a little?
Yep, I'm trying. I'm just not as fast as you know.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
But I'm getting there. It's just the toolbar for Zoom is in the way of all of my tools.
Got you.
So, okay.
Well, in all fairness, I have 3 toddlers in the house, and so there's little fingerprints on my glasses. Maybe if I clean them, that'll help. But okay. Go ahead, Christy.
yeah, so since this is our first letter to the council with the new president, Fanny Gonzalez, and the new vice president, I opened with a quick congratulations. Then went into a paragraph that gives a little introduction and what this is, and what prompted that in-person forum. Kind of just described the forum and the fact that it was an opportunity for community members to share their concerns. I want to go to the next page. Then I just sort of went into the wide range of perspectives that were shared at the forum. Just gave a couple of examples of that, and really just tried to highlight that public safety is kind of a combination, not just of the police, but some of the other services, because I think that came up at least 2 or 3 times during the forum about how various services need to work together, and that we need to kind of align resources around that. Next. Just give a thanks for those who came to the forum, because I know a couple of them were there, and then reminded them that we are here to be a collaborative resource as they consider various priorities in their committee or cross committees. And I think I focused a little bit on the cross committee stuff and partnership, especially since this was addressed to the council president and vice president. So that's all.
All right, very good. Thank you again for the draft. Any questions or comments before we take an action to move the letter forward? Going once, going twice. Eva?
I know this is not on our letterhead yet, but can we please change the font?
Well,
I think Susan just cut and pasted it from my my email. I didn't actually put it in the actual document. Sorry,
Great.
Susan.
What font should it be? I'm not sure what it is.
Wait, I
It's
don't
in
understand. Are
Calibri
you a
right
big fan
now.
of? Are you a big fan of Times New Roman or something? I don't.
I'm a big fan of Times New Roman. No, Calibri looks. That's all I gotta
Yeah,
say.
I had emailed it just in a email document. I didn't actually put it in letterhead or in the correct font. So
That's
No,
interesting.
Christy, it looks fantastic. Like I don't want to take away from that at all.
Well, we're going to vote tonight on the content and trust Susan with the style. Okay, so will someone offer a motion that we move the letter forward with gratitude to Christy?
Yes,
I make
so
a motion
moved.
that
So
we
moved.
All right, Eva says so. Do we have a Henry seconds? It's
second.
been moved and seconded that we move this letter forward. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any
I'd
abstention?
also like to thank Francisco, who gave some words into the initial draft. So thanks, Francisco.
I'm telling you, he's the wind beneath our wings. All right, thank you, Francisco, again, and thank you all. We're moving that forward. Great. SILE civic engagement. So I want to remind you that we agreed to participate in the SILE civic engagement event at the Police Academy on January 7th, which will take place from 4:30 to 5:45 p.m. And so we're encouraging all of you to attend. I just want to take a straw poll. How many of you think you'll be able to make that event? All right.
I'm sorry, what time of day? I'm sorry.
It's 5:30. The worst time of day to travel in Montgomery County or the DMV. 5:30. Wait a minute. I'm going to park at the church and walk, I think. So it's 4:30 to 5:45 p.m. All right. So that'll be great if everyone who raised their hands can come. That'll be a strong showing. The last piece before we go into any new business is we had been talking about having a holiday gathering. I think I missed the meeting where there was some substantive conversation and the group decided that we would potentially do something in January, kind of after the holidays. So I guess we have to kind of at least nail down a time and a venue, since it is December, and our next meeting will be in January. Obviously, this will be a meeting separate from our January meeting, and I'm assuming a bit afterward, because I heard something like after King Day-ish. But does anyone have? I wasn't at that previous discussion. Did we have a date in mind, Susan, or did anyone recall a date? Do Mondays work well for everyone? I know that's when we meet.
Yep.
So let's pull up a calendar. I can't believe it's almost 2026, but then again, I can, because it has been 2025 for 7 years now. So
That's true.
January. So if we stick with a Monday, and that would be a Monday that's not our meeting date, and not King Day. So would we want to go as far as the end of the month? That's January 26th. Is that good for everyone?
That would work for me. I'll be out of town the 12th through the 23rd, so that
you'll
would I'd be
you'll
back by then.
Okay. So I mean, we don't have to make a motion, but if anyone, if that date's a conflict for anyone, will you speak now or forever hold your peace, or I guess just
Did
not
you
show up?
say January 26th? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
That should be the last Monday. Everyone check your calendar, because I miss the mark sometimes with these things. All right.
And to clarify, to make sure that it's not a public meeting, we can't start talk shop. Is that right, Susan?
That's correct.
No. It's just, hi, how are you doing? How's your cat? How's your kid? Or, and Susan, you mentioned we could do what do you call it when everyone brings something?
Potluck?
Yeah, sorry, my brain is kind of, we could do potluck, or everyone could bring something. So does anyone want to volunteer to be the sign-up person that we report to make sure we don't have 20 napkins? And no,
I can do that, since I've done it for a group here. So yeah, I'll send an email and just asking. Actually, the what has worked best with me has been to send an email saying, this is what I'm bringing, and then everybody replied to that email saying what they're bringing.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody has visibility on what everybody else is bringing. So, you can have 2 desserts, you can have 2 salads, you can have, but you don't want to have 5 desserts or 10 desserts.
Yeah.
But maybe you want to have them.
I don't see any problem with 5 desserts. Absolutely none whatsoever. I don't know what the issue is.
I do not disagree. All right. So
I'll send the email once we have the time. We have the date. We need time and venue.
We need the venue. So Susan, do we have access for free to any county space?
So I can reserve a conference room at the council. Obviously, council business would have to take priority. So if there are press conferences or public hearings or that type of thing, I have to work around that. So I can check on availability tomorrow.
Okay, do that and let me know as a backup. If not, if you all don't mind coming to a church, the church is 4 blocks from the county building, so it's distance wouldn't be a huge deal. It's in Rockville.
No,
I
All
think
right.
we should do it at the church.
I agree.
Jason doesn't have to do
I
anything.
think that's fine.
You all are okay with that? Okay. Well, there's plenty of parking. And then if you're a first timer, I have to tell you the history of the church, which is really powerful, because it was founded by former slaves, and children right there in the county in a formerly segregated neighborhood, one of the few spaces Black people could own homes in Montgomery County. So it's really cool. All right, very good. So that's is there any other old business?
Oh, the time.
Oh, what time ever? We're 6:30 we've been doing on Mondays. Does that work? Is that too early, too late?
Works for me.
All right, great. So January 26th at 6:30. Susan, let me just confirm tomorrow that I mean there's lots of rooms in the church, so we'll find a space.
Okay,
But I'll still check in and get that back to you, okay?
great.
Brian, what's the name of the church?
Mount Calvary
Mount
Baptist
Calvary.
Church,
Okay. thank you.
Rockville. All right.
Oh.
Yes.
Just have a sort of old business. We
Yes.
may have already covered this, and I just may be like not remembering. But regarding our work plan, I was wondering if we're keeping sort of a list of we did that on our work plan. I didn't know if we had discussed doing that, whether it's something that, and if we didn't, whether it's something that people think, would be helpful to do. So I'm just throwing it out there because I just don't remember.
So you make like keeping a running tab of things that we've gotten done?
Yeah, that's what, sort of as an accountability measure, this is what we said we were going to do and we done it, and that would also, I can't even remember when our terms are over here, but in the event that we don't get everything done, that would, leave the next folk with some guidance, that kind of thing. It would, just a random thought on a Monday.
No, that's a great idea. I like that idea. What say you?
Yeah, I think it is a good idea. I saw the I saw the work plan as aspirational. However, I do think we're probably about halfway through this year, right? And what I propose is that we all take a look at the work plan, take a look at what we've accomplished and what we need to accomplish, and discuss that at the next meeting in January. Because and that gives us an opportunity to be very conscious about whether we need to readjust some of our priorities, or whether some of our priorities, we don't need to address them. Some of the things that we put in the work plan, but it is holding ourselves accountable.
Sorry, I think it gives us a good mid-year or midterm, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it does, help, I think, to give a bit of structure that's not overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is kind of keeping us on track without, tying us down, because there may be some things that, now looking back on it, we're like, we don't have to do this, or, so yeah. So that's the thought.
All right, thanks. Henry?
Yeah, we previously mentioned something about when we send out letters, when we get a response back from MCPD, following how they followed up on a letter. I think we need to get a spreadsheet pretty much for that type of thing. Or sometimes a letter like the one that Christy has doesn't necessarily need to get a response from them, but that we did send it out.
Yeah.
And also, like even with the implicit bias, this pretty much is from the last session that we're carrying on into this session, that we need to maybe find out when the start date was and what are the findings.
Okay, that's great. While you were speaking, Henry, Susan chatted that she keeps a spreadsheet with response times from MCPD. So that's great to know.
Oh,
and she can circulate it if anyone is interested. Hit up Susan. All right. Any other old business? So let's go to New business. Are there any new business suggestions? I know Francisco has something.
Yeah, I don't want to create work for us, but did receive a one of these announcements that that the council is about to introduce tomorrow a bill with it's called the Trust Act, codifying longstanding policy regarding the use of county resources to enforce immigration laws or not to. And it does. I don't think it really has any impact other than it codifies existing policy. I think, but I think it might be useful for at least some of us to look at it a little bit deeper and see if there's anything that we want to do in terms of either weighing in and welcoming it, or as we've done with the U-Visa bill, that we supported it and we offered some comments. And maybe, yeah, and maybe Susan can tell us what's the status of the bill and how, what's the expectation of how fast they'll move it, because this is an expedited bill.
Right. So it is getting introduced. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, just to clarify, Francisco, you're saying that this is codifying into law the fact that we will not use county resources to collaborate with ICE, basically?
And that's my reading of it, yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'd be interested in doing some reading on that for sure.
Right.
So it will be introduced tomorrow. I did send the link to you with the text of the bill. It is going to a public hearing on January 13th, in case you wanted to submit any testimony for that. It will be assigned to a joint government operations / public safety committee work session. I don't have a date on that yet. It will move fairly quickly. As Francisco mentioned, it's expedited, but they also want to get that type of legislation and other duties that they have finished as quickly as possible before we move into operating budget. So they will want to try to move that as quickly as they can. It is codifying County Executive Elrich put into practice an executive order when he first got into office in 2019. It's 135-19, I believe. And it already explicitly states that the county does not ask for anybody's immigration status, not in any department. It is not part of our job, and it's much more important to try to build trust in the communities so that they can access every county service that they can access. Unlike a lot of jurisdictions around the country where sheriffs are responsible both for law enforcement on the street and the detention centers in that local jurisdiction, we have separate agencies who do that. So you have police department who does public safety, law enforcement, but you also have Department of Correction and Rehabilitation that handles local jails, and they have long not worked with ICE. That's where most of the detainer activity goes on. ICE will, under secure communities, which came into fruition during President Obama's term, all fingerprints of all persons who have been arrested are submitted to the FBI. Police always have to do that to see if there's outstanding warrants or detainers of a criminal nature anywhere else in the nation. So they've always done that. The FBI takes those prints and gives it to ICE. And that's how ICE might know that somebody is in our custody. So they will lodge a detainer. Almost all of them historically have been civil detainers, which we do not honor. If it's a criminal detainer with probable cause, then that is honored, because that falls under a legitimate holding under the Fourth Amendment. So there is a list of arrests where we will notify ICE, or convictions, I should say, where we will notify ICE, and they're the big ones like murder, rape, and robbery, that type of thing. We don't hold people past their local release time. So if they were supposed to get released after a bond review and somebody bonds them out and the paperwork's done by 11 a.m. this morning, then we're releasing them. Doesn't matter what ICE is doing. So we've had a lot of those protocols in place to ensure that there's no overlap in immigration enforcement. That is a federal responsibility. Some other jurisdictions might join in under 287G, but we do not. And there's been state attorney general advice on not doing that, not participating. And just from a community trust perspective, it's not good to do that. But also, in case anybody cares about the fiscal side of it, nobody gets reimbursed at the local level for doing any kind of federal law enforcement work, right? So in times where we have budget pressures too, doing federal work for free is not the wisest thing in the world to do. So it is codifying that. There will be much discussion on it. It goes further than public safety. It's accessing HHS services, that type of thing. That's why it's going to joint committee to ensure that both there's no funding given to any kind of immigration enforcement, as well as policies in terms of actions and operations within county government. So
thank you very much. That's very helpful. Ava, I'd be happy working with you and looking at this a little bit more closely and see if we can, come up with some suggestions or recommendations to the commission by our next meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. We can figure out a time to meet in the next couple weeks.
Please add me.
And Sherry. Great. Sherry.
Great. All right. Is there any other new business? Going once? Going twice? All right. We are moving on. Thank you, everyone, for your attendance this evening. We have swiftly covered all the things we need to cover. This is our last official meeting for 2025. It's been great working with you. Christina?
Hi, yes. I just wanted to know what time are we meeting on January 26th?
I think we said 6:30.
Okay, thank you.
Is the gathering going to be just for us, or can we bring our significant others, or what are your thoughts?
I think if we bring others, then we're less likely to talk shop and violate any rules.
All right, so our significant others will keep us in line. So if you have a significant other, then you are welcome to bring them. If you have 4 children under 7, can you bring them?
Yes, bring all of your children, of course.
Great, because I don't want to have the party with you guys and make dinner again, so that'll be great.
Plus, if we try to talk anything about policy, they'll be like, "That's boring," and then we'll have to talk
yes,
everything else.
yes.
You want me
So
to
that being the
send
case,
out,
I will bring
like,
at least Francisco, a platter of Costco sandwiches.
Wait, did someone say they're going to dress up? Wait, what?
Oh, I'm not.
Do you want me to send around like a sign up sheet?
Who said that? Christy?
It was Christy.
All right. Is that good, Francisco?
Sure.
That'll be one less thing for you to volunteer for. So that'll be okay. Thank you, Christy.
And Christy, if you send out a sign-up sheet, you have to police it. No pun intended.
I will police the sign up sheet. I will make sure that we have everything we need.
Everybody is not bringing potato salad or something.
No,
okay?
I'll do it. I will do it. I'm going to do like a sign up. I'll do a sign up genius or something similar.
Are we all sure on the potluck as opposed to like throwing in money and getting it nicely catered, or are we set on the potluck?
You don't want to eat in my cooking? Is that it? It's good. I guarantee it.
Well, that's why I was going to go the Costco route, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think as long as we're, as long as somebody is actually policing it, we can have a balanced kind of meal, sort of,
All right.
This is not shaping up how Christina had hoped. She was ready to wear her cocktail dress and
Hey, no one's saying you can't dress up. I know I
really thought
will.
the dress up was that someone was going to be Santa for the kids that are now going to be there.
Well, it's January 26th, so for my kids, they'll be past that.
Yeah,
They'll be giving their I Have a Dream speeches. So
it takes a long time for me to shake the spirit, you know?
right, right.
Okay.
Okay. Well, again, it's been great working with you this year. It's my favorite jokes this time of year. Some of you we won't see until next year. And so if you celebrate, have a good holiday season. If not, have a good break. And we look forward to continuing working together for the betterment of our county and our neighborhoods and our community. All right. Peace and blessings and all that. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
I second it.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed, stay logged in, I guess. All right. Have a good evening, everyone. So that you know, this was just like a church business meeting. We talked about the business, and then we really got into what we were going to eat the next time we got together.
And my cocktail dress, don't forget that.
Absolutely, which you should
I'll be
still
there
wear,
with
by the
you,
way.
Christina.
You will look so fabulous in the church's basement in your cocktail dress, Christina.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Same to you. Everyone, take care.
Yeah.